Hey shy people. What is your worst experience? Going to a crowded party with one friend who really wanted to drag you along, but then disappears. My outgoing mother announcing to everyone how shy I am. In my high school Spanish class some kid screamed, "Do you ever talk?" at me in front of the entire class. Super embarrassing at the time, but hilarious to look back on. For those curious, I said nothing in response. If only I could go back in time. When you talk and people say things like, "Oh, I didn't know you could talk," or "This is the first time I hear you talking." As a shy kid my shyness was crippling. I got locked in the toilet in school, started yelling and crying, and the teacher had to remove the lock to get me out. The whole class was standing behind him, looking at me. I am a bit shy when first meeting people, so after getting to know me I often hear, "When I first met you, I thought you were such a bitch." Cool. My shy buddy hated ordering coffee at the Starbucks in the Barnes & Noble bookstore. They cannot accept your order and take your money, they had about 6 questions they had to ask first. She couldn't stand it. Her, "I'd like a medium coffee." Them, "Do you want light roast or dark roast? We don't have medium, we have tall." Okay. "Do you need space for cream? What's your name? Are you part of the bookstore club? Are you part of the Starbucks points?" I'm not sure if I'm remembering it right, but I think at least once she panicked and walked away mid-interrogation. While going to college, I interned for the state's largest business development corporation. In a meeting with C-suite executives, the top dog was just making friendly conversation before we got started and asked me what classes I was taking. To set the picture, I am just a peon note-taker and would never expect anyone to even notice that I was there, let alone put me on the spot with a long table of successful professionals staring at me. I blacked out. Zero brain function. I mumbled a few inaudible grunts and ums before having no choice but to admit that I couldn't remember. Oh my god, I wanted to die. The looks of confusion and the awkward century that it took to switch topics amongst themselves still haunts me before bed. Putting a year's worth of confidence into a job interview just to be the quiet one after you get the job. The anxiety dude. Mandatory speech class when I was a freshman in college. I'd do the thing, then go back to my dorm and throw up. Really freaked out my roommate who I barely spoke to. 5 speeches that semester. It was a nightmare. I decided to be brave at a college picnic for students in the pharmacy program. All the tables were occupied, so I confidently went up to a table with a bunch of people and asked if I could join them, and I immediately sat down. No one said a word to me. Not one word. I ate as fast as possible and went home and cried. Fuck those assholes. Graduating basic training and having to walk across the stage, stop at the mic, execute a left face turn, state my name in the mic with a short pause between first and last name as a cue for the next row of guys to walk up. I completely fucked it up in front of everyone. Went to shake my drill sergeant's hand as a formality of the ceremony and he whispered to me, "Way to fuck that up in front of everyone, dipshit, fuck off back to your seat." I fucking hate public speaking. Went to a party. Guy I've never met walks up to me, shakes my hand and says hello. What's your name? Where were you born? Where will you die? What's in between? Not letting go of my hand the whole time. I completely locked up, had no idea what to say. I was having coffee with a friend one day. We had just been to the gym, so I thought I was looking pretty disheveled, but maybe not because a guy came up to us and slid me a piece of paper with his number on it. He said he had seen me while driving by and thought I was beautiful and just had to stop and say hello. I was so caught off guard and just naturally awkward around strangers that the only thing I could blurt out was, "If you think I'm cute now you should see me when I've bathed." He walked away, my friends left. I was embarrassed for days. I hate video calls. I was going to drive 1.5 hours to my college to talk to a professor in person instead of just video calling to follow up on something.